Hi, my name is Tammy Jones, and I was just going to tell you a little bit about my trip to the Amazon. So it starts back on May 5th. After a 2.5 year long battle with ovarian cancer, I lost my mom. This time has really brought me so much closer to God. I had to learn to lean on Him more and quit relying on myself. My mom was my person. I told her everything. And as I prepared for her death, I knew I needed another person. And who would that person be? Somebody that I would tell my innermost thoughts, my fears, my struggles, my joys, my hopes, my dreams. I learned that that person was Jesus. He is my new person. So I've wanted to go on a mission trip for a long time, probably 10 years or so, and there were some things that were standing in my way. The Amazon River was the top of my list. So when the subject came up again this year, I said, I'm going. I knew that my mom would have encouraged me to go. She had been on a couple of mission trips as well, and she loved to travel. So I reached out to Pam to get some more information about the trip and to sign up. She told me about the different ministries and asked me where I saw myself fitting in. I told her, just put me wherever you need me. I'm good. Well, she asked me to do evangelism. And I got to be honest, I was a little bit terrified. She explained to me that it was speaking for 30 minutes in front of the village women. I've got a fear of public speaking to start with, but I do keep putting myself out there. Also, I've never given a public testimony, but I agreed and I told her I would do it, so here I go. When she told me that I would have a translator and they would be translating in between each sentence, I felt some relief there because I got to look at my notes in between, unlike today. So, but since I was going to talk about my mom's journey, I knew I had a lot to talk about. So I asked for prayers and financial support on social media, and God provided. Pam showed me twice how to pack my bag and what to bring. It was also suggested that I read Unshakable Hope by Max Lucado. I've done other Bible studies in the past, and I'm not very good about follow through, but I did every morning in preparation for this trip, got up and did my Bible study, and that has now become a habit for me. So my goal this year is to read the Bible from front to back, and that alone made the trip worthwhile for me. The theme for this year's trip was hope. So I used 2 Corinthians 4:16. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. My mom had been very open about her cancer journey. I was not open about her journey. I was afraid to do that. I was afraid to talk about it. I was afraid to share about it. But after about a year of her journey and then my own battle with cancer, I started to become more open about it and share. If you know me, you know that I am very passionate about my career, my team, my clients. So I made a very big decision to take a couple of months off to be with my mom during her last months, and it was the best thing that I've ever done. I had been with my mother-in-law when she passed just a few months earlier. She had been sick only for a few weeks, and during that time moved her out of her apartment into a facility, arranged for her children to come see her. I was reading the Bible to her, I was singing to her, and I was holding her hand when she breathed her very last breath, and it was so peaceful to know that she had gone to heaven. We had talked about that. So while I was getting ready for my mom's death, I felt like it was probably going to be the same way. My mom had a very similar experience with her mom, so I expected the same thing. But no, God had other plans for me and a lesson. So I talked to the ladies of the Amazon about all the emotions that I dealt with during that time. There were times when I wondered how on earth this woman who took such great care of her body was healthy, exercised, ate well. Why did she have cancer? And then when she was struggling at the end, I kept questioning God and her. What are you holding on to? God, why won't you take her? Mom, why can't you go? It was so hard on those of us that were watching her. I was mad. I didn't understand. So I kept questioning, but I would bring myself back to Jesus each time, and he gave me peace. He constantly reminded me that we are on his timeline and not mine. So friends and family have been surrounding my mom, loving on her the last days, for about the last week. And almost every breath, we just wondered, is this going to be the last? I mean, sometimes we would hold our breath as we were waiting for her to exhale or inhale. So we were all very tired. And on the night of May 5th, her husband, John, and my Aunt Lisa were there. We were all at the house, and we decided she's probably not going to be any different, so we should all get some rest. And so I guess the two of them were in other rooms, and they were still awake, but I did go to sleep, and I woke up because I was in the same room with her. I woke up and realized I did not hear her breathing. So I ran to her, and she had gone, and so I got the others, but I felt such guilt that I wasn't holding her hand, just like I had planned on doing, just like I had done for my mother-in-law, just like she had done for her mom. But the hard lesson that I learned was that her and God both wanted us to rest. And when we finally rested, she did too. And God took her at that time. So I wrapped up my testimony with this. We will all die someday. Our bodies will no longer sustain us, but God is renewing our souls every day. Every single day, our faith can grow stronger no matter the condition of our body. My prayer today is that you are saved and that you feel Jesus with you in the good times and the hard times, that he guide you every single day, that you feel the freedom that comes with being saved, that you have joy, peace, and hope, knowing that our next life in heaven is going to be nothing short of amazing. So just like us, the people of the Amazon have experienced a lot of death this year, especially with COVID. And even though we don't speak the same language and we live very differently, death and all of the emotions surrounding it are the same. I know that I reached at least one young lady because she came and talked to me about her grandma being sick and the emotions that she was dealing with during this time. So I was able to pray with her, pray over her, pray for her grandmother, and it really felt good. It was the first time I feel like I've really been able to witness to someone. So what did I expect from the trip? So I'd watched the YouTube videos about the boat and things like that. So all of that I was pretty well prepared for. However, I know it's very hot and humid there. I expected people to be sweaty and dirty, and they don't have a lot of running water. And so I actually took peppermint oil and put it right under my nose, so that's all I could smell. But when we got off, for the most part, people were very clean. Their clothes were very Americanized. It depended on the village. Some of the villages were bigger, some were much smaller. Some of the villages, everyone had a cell phone. Some of the villages, no one had a cell phone, or one person. There were some streets in the villages, actually one with like a concrete street with a curb, but I didn't see a car in 8 days. I did see a bicycle with a basket on it to carry things. But what did I gain from this trip? Well, when we got on the plane in Houston, I turned my phone on airplane mode. I still wanted to be able to listen to my music and to take pictures and make videos and things like that, which I know I still haven't shared for the most part on Facebook. I'm trying to get to that. But I turned that all off. So there were no distractions for me. And it was like being at a 10-day revival. I mean, there was worship and song and prayer in the morning. If you haven't heard Pam sing and stomp on the boat, you've missed out. You should really join us. And then worship and singing and stuff in the evening. Lots of prayer during the day, services during the day with the village people. Oh, village people, YMCA, no, just kidding. The indigenous people. Anyway, it was really, really a great time for me. Some self-reflection, some just being the hands and feet of God and just really serving those. I served in eyeglasses, I served in VBS, I served in women's ministry, and really enjoyed all of it. I gotta say, the boat is great, the food was fantastic, hammocks weren't bad. They didn't tell me there wasn't hot water, but it was okay. I am not a fan of cold water, but it really wasn't bad at all. So another lesson I learned was on vanity. So I was working in VBS one day, and this girl had a monkey, and it was attached to her, I think somewhere around her side. Well, as they were playing with the parachute, that monkey just kept getting hit. So it climbed up and it was on the back of her head. Anyway, I was petting the monkey, and I had seen a couple of monkeys, and I really wanted to hold a monkey, and but that monkey didn't want to go anywhere, it just wanted to be with her. She kept running and putting that monkey on the porch, and it would run back to her. Just kept on. She put it inside the house, and then they were jumping rope. Well, I saw that monkey trying to sneak out, and I was afraid, number one, that it was going to get hit with the jump rope, or that it was going to find the girl and she wasn't going to be able to jump rope and yada yada. So I went and got the monkey. And I was just enjoying holding this monkey, and everybody's hollering, Tammy, Tammy. And I thought, oh, they're going to take my picture. I'm just smiling with this monkey. Well, they told me to look down. And as I did, I saw that the monkey had left me a nice little present. Wasn't one that I had hoped for. So this was not a place that we had access to the boat. So I went to medical to see if they had anything I could wipe myself off with or whatever. We ended up in women's ministry. We found this shirt that was supposed to be a giveaway. So I did leave my shirt in the Amazon, and I gained a new one. But my lesson is to not be vain. So if you've ever thought about going on a mission trip, I would highly encourage you to do so. This was a fantastic one. I'm going back next year, and I'll be glad to save you a hammock next to mine.